Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us? Before I get started with this lesson, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and infinite glory unto the Heavenly Father Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Giving double honors unto the head apostles of Great Millstone, who do rule well and teach well with sound doctrine. Shalom unto the elders and the elder bishops of Great Millstone as well. Shalom, shalom. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings unto the hopeful elect, the men, women, and children listening and learning from the servants and prophets Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, and the hearty shalom to the sincere brethren laboring across the four winds of the earth, giving diligence to make their calling and election sure. Shalom, shalom. So back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. Lord's will, this lesson is edifying. It reaches the ears of the hopeful elect. So a lot of brothers, elders, even the Apostle Tahar have done videos on this article. I'm going to do one as well, because this is biblical prophecy speaking loud and clear. It said at the end the vision will speak, and a part of the vision, the prophecies, is Esau Edom, coming in like a flood, speaking like a dragon. It says that the beast will speak like a dragon, in the end times. Esau Edom, the dragon, will declare war, wage war against the woman, Revelation 12 and 17, that woman being Israel, and the remnant of her seed, which is the elect, those that keep the commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, the believers, and those that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, which is the prophets, and the testimony of our Lord is the spirit of prophecy. So we'll go through this article, we'll go through it and get to it. I pray the lesson's edifying and informative. It may be a little long-winded because I'm going to go into a nice bit of information that ties into this article. So let's get to it. UN declares war on dangerous quote-unquote conspiracy theories. And that word conspiracy, the elders and apostles have went into that word. It means with breath. And at the very top of quote-unquote conspiracy theorists, you have those that have the breath, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures, biblical history, secular history, geopolitical information, and biblical prophecy, to tie it all in together. World history as well, to make it plain upon tables to the believers, and to be able to call out Esau Edom for his wickedness, and to point out the wicked. This is a universal court of law, and Esau Edom is guilty on all charges. That's why Cain was called a vagabond and a fugitive. And what's Esau Edom doing? Running from his nationality, running from his fate, running from the report. Back to the header of the article. UN declares war on dangerous quote-unquote conspiracy theories. And the beast system is a worldwide agenda. It's a global agenda. So not only are they going to declare war on those who are inside the circle, but everybody who's speaking out against the New World Order, the NWO, truthers, people who are against abortion, people who are against the rainbow gang, the pedo agenda, people who are against, their agenda, period. UN declares war on dangerous conspiracy theories. The world, quote unquote, is not manipulated by a global elite, quote unquote. Now let's go to a quick precept, which I opened up quoting. This is Isaiah, the 29th chapter and the 15th verse, and it reads, woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. Woe means destruction. And the Lord is omnipotent. He sees all and he knows all. His eyes are in every place, beholding the evil and the good, And their works are in the dark, because they do their secret meetings, in secret places. The Bilderberg Group, the Trilateral Commission, so on and so forth, Bohemian Grove. And their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us? Because what's the Illuminati also known as in the scriptures? The secret counsel of the wicked. Now, if you go into the first actual paragraph of this article, we're going to go into this article as well. It says, the UN also warns that George Soros, the Rothschilds, and the state of Israel, the wicked elite, the illuminated ones on the left-hand side, the light bearers, spreading wickedness, must not be linked to any alleged conspiracies. What's the Davos agenda? What's Event 201? What's the UN plans for sustainable development? You know, what was the cyber polygon? Those are all conspiracies, man. You know, you're conspiring to do what? To push forward your great reset. Let's go into a quick picture as far as information. And this came out from the elder Atazuan from Men of Valor, a Shalom Zakwan. And this ties in to Esau Edom, you know, telling on himself. This is the Great Reset info, Great Reset info. The Great Reset is the UN's agenda to push forward Agenda 21, which became Agenda 2020 and then Agenda 2030, you know. The plan for the NWO, you know. It says you're missing the bigger picture, quote unquote. Every move made is a component of the Great Reset. All moves have a purpose that fuels global destabilization. That's a conspiracy. Disrupt, destabilize, collapse, rebirth. They're telling them themselves. Let's get that precept. Let's go to Psalm 64 next. Psalms. Oh, wow. Now Esau Edom's tripping. Okay. That's a new one. Forbidden, huh? The prince of the power of the air. Psalm 64, KJV. And it reads, as far as the precept that I was looking for, but yet we'll get the rest of the precepts that line up with this lesson as well, as far as Psalm 64 next. And it reads, they search out iniquities, 64 and 6, like it. And it reads, Psalm 64 and 8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. You know, let's get Job 15 and 6. Job 15 and 6, and it reads, thy own mouth condemneth thee, and not I, yea, thy own lips testify against thee. What you're doing in the earth proves that you're the wicked, you know? Let's go to 2 Thessalonians 2, and it reads, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. Jeremiah 17 and 4, you know, we shall discontinue from our heritage, roughly paraphrasing, you know, Deuteronomy 28 and 64, you know. And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And that man of sin, it says that man of sin. It's talking about a particular nation of people, a particular, you know, bloodline. The seed line of the wicked, the seed line of the serpent, Esau, Edom, you know, the spiritual, the physical counterparts, better yet, for the spiritual demon Satan, you know, his physical counterpart, Satan in the flesh. And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped. So he, as power, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High, and he's not, you know. But what is he starting to do? Speak like a dragon. You know, draconian laws are going to be set forth and passed, you know, and they already have everything in place. I'm going to go into that a little later on in the lesson. Now let's go back to Slakia, Psalm 64, and it reads, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. So the Illuminati is known as the secret counsel of the wicked, because what? Opening precept that we came out with, Isaiah 29 and 15, and it reads, woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord Yahweh Bashim Ashai, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? Because they do their works in the dark. You know, they do their meetings in secrecy, you know. They're a secret society, but they're starting to be revealed. Now let's go to Psalm 64. Just had it. 64:3. Who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. They're also known as the accuser of the brethren. That they may shoot in secret at the perfect, suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. And that's what they're doing, They're shooting at the perfect, those who are in the truth, those that have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, Now let's go back to the article, because I got a lot of precepts I want to cover and information. Now let's go into this article. So it says the United Nations has declared war on conspiracy theories, describing the rise of conspiracy thinking as worrying and dangerous, and providing the public with a toolkit to pre-bunk and debunk anybody who dares to suggest that the world's governments are anything but completely honest, upstanding, and transparent. That's the beast starting to speak like a dragon, Now, if you go into this part right here, I'll read it again. And providing the public with a toolkit to pre-bunk and debunk. When I read that, it automatically made me think of CP3, which I did a lesson on last year. I may leave a link to that lesson in the description box so people can check it out in their free time. But this is CP3. I'll read the header, and we'll go into this a little later. Slack it, come on. Now my computer's tripping. My phone, better yet. So it says, DHS, Department of Homeland Security, creates new center for prevention programs and partnerships and additional efforts to comprehensively combat the domestic violent extremism. I'm going to read again. Department of Homeland Security, DHS, creates new center for prevention programs and partnerships, CP3, and additional efforts to comprehensively combat domestic violent extremism. And this came out May 11th. Now, it goes into the partnership that they have with the GHS. I'll just read the first paragraph. Building the Biden-Harris administration's commitment to combating all forms of terrorism and targeted violence, the Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro M. Mayorkas, announced that the Department of Homeland Security has established a new center for prevention programs and partnerships to improve the department's ability to combat terrorism and targeted violence. Consistent with privacy protection, civil rights, and civil liberties, and other applicable laws. What this is a pre-crime program, And if you go into the new page that they have on their website, it doesn't mention any of the wordage that it has on the old page, It makes it sound all fluffy and nice. But if you go into this one right here, which came out May 11th, it has a term that's used called fusion centers. And for those that are in the know, you know what those are, where they're spying on people. Let me get it real quick. Yep. I'll just get to it. So Senator Mayorkas also announced a new dedicated domestic terrorism branch within the department's Office of Intelligence and Analysis, I&A, to ensure Department of Homeland Security develops the expertise necessary to produce the sound, timely intelligence needed to combat threats posed by domestic terrorism and targeted violence, which they're going to make us the face of. You have what happened last year as far as Othel Wallace, the guy out there in, I think, North Carolina. It may have been somebody else, but he shot at a cop, with fringes on. Actually, that was Othel Wallace. The dude who rushed the Capitol with a knife, who was a Muslim, and the next day he was telling people to read the Bible. The Jersey shooting, the camps out there marching down the street with AR-15s. They're going to link us, to those guys and to extreme Islam, Islam extremism, which Vocab Malone is set up to do. INA will also introduced leveraging the national network of fusion centers. What are fusion centers? Fusion centers are centers where they spy on people, and they gather intelligence, you know. And if you go into those fusion centers, they're spying on everybody, man, And you can be considered a domestic terrorist for, believing in homeschooling and like 100 other things, man, believing in the Bible. If you're against abortion, so on and so forth, INA will also continue leveraging the national network of fusion centers and our deployed intelligence professionals who collect and analyze threat information alongside our local, state, territorial, and private sector partners to increase timely and actionable information sharing a dynamic threat environment. What does it say? Local, tribal, and private sector partners. State, local, tribal, territorial. Federal partners as well, Let's go into the article again. So let's read the first sentence. We'll read about a good 4 paragraphs and we'll move on. So it reads, the UN also warns that George Soros, the Rothschilds, and the state of Israel must not be linked to any alleged conspiracies. UNESCO, and what's UNESCO? UNESCO is the agency of the United Nations, established in 1945 to promote the exchange of information, ideas, and culture. Has teamed up with Twitter, the European Commission of the World Small Hat Congress, to launch the campaign dubbed Think Before Sharing. Stop the spread of quote-unquote conspiracy theories. The UN also wants you to know that the events are not secretly manipulated. Are not secretly manipulated behind the scenes by powerful forces with negative intent. Well, what's the UN agenda for sustainable development? What's the Davos agenda? Why were you talking about putting implantable devices in people, in the pill form at the Davos agenda? Why were you talking about stopping the spread of misinformation, at the Davos convention? YouTube CEO at World Economic Forum. There will always be work that we have to do to censor misinformation. YouTube CEO, this came out a little earlier in the year, wants government to pass laws to have more control over online speech because they're hurt. This word is damaging, these devils, man. Now, what's this? Why'd you have to do this then? Yep, let's read this paragraph and we'll go into some more information. The UN also wants you to know that events are not secretly manipulated behind the scenes by powerful forces with negative intent. If you encounter anybody who thinks the global elite are conspiring to consolidate power and dictate global events, you must take action. What did the president say last year? Biden asked Americans to report radicalized friends and family. This came out last year. Biden asked Americans to report radicalized friends and family. And this came out June of 2021. President Joe Biden administration announced their plans to create new ways for Americans to report radicalized friends and family to the government in an effort to fight domestic terrorism. So this is already going on in the United States. This has already been going on, and this is the beast starting to speak like a dragon. And the pieces are already in place. Now let's go into this. So this is an article. This goes into an article that was deleted by the UN and their newspaper, their magazine, better yet. I'll read the header. UN deletes article titled "The Benefits of World Hunger." Let's read 3 paragraphs. And it reads, the UN Chronicle, Slovakia, the official magazine of the United Nations, recently deleted a 2008 article titled "The Benefits of World Hunger." The article, which now leads to an error page, why'd you have to take it down if you're so honest? If there's no bad intentions, was written by George Kent, a now retired University of Hawaii political science professor. In the article, Kent argued that hunger is fundamental to the working of the world's economy. Much of the hunger literature talks about how it is important to assure that people are well fed so that they can be more productive. Kent wrote, "That is nonsense. No one works harder than hungry people. Yes, people who are well nourished have greater capacity for productive physical activity. Well nourished people are far less willing to do that work." It also, in that article, it talks about how hungry people are easier to control and manipulate, and they'll work harder, And what are they also doing? Now, let's read this paragraph again real quick. The meat and the potatoes of this paragraph, better yet. The UN wants you to know that events are not secretly manipulated by behind the scenes, like it by tripping. My reading sucks today. The UN wants you to know that events are not secretly manipulated behind the scenes by powerful forces with negative intent. If you encounter anybody who thinks the global elite are conspiring to consolidate power and dictate global events, you must take action. And eventually it's going to lead to you must call the authorities, you must tell on them, reward, money is available for you. We're in those times. We're coming into those times. And pretty soon there's going to be laws in the books, to combat, what we're doing. It says that we shall be hated of all men. Well, they're going to put laws in the books, so that's in play. And they're setting the stage for that right now. This is biblical prophecy. This is beautiful. This has to happen, Now, let's go into this. UN, World Economic Forum behind global war on farmers. Let's read 3 paragraphs real quick. The escalating regulatory attack on agriculture producers from Holland and the United States to Sri Lanka and beyond. This came out July 30th, a few days ago. The escalating regulatory attack on agriculture producers from Holland and the United States to Sri Lanka and beyond is closely tied to the United Nations Agenda 2030. But I thought, according to you guys, there's no evil intent. Let's keep reading. Sustainable Development Goals and the UN's partners at the World Economic Forum, numerous experts told the Epoch Times. Let's keep reading. Indeed, several of the UN's 17 Sustainable Development Goals are directly impacted in policies that are squeezing farmers, ranchers, and food supplies around the world. That's the famine being brewed. High-level Chinese Communist Party members within the UN systems help create the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, that are currently helping lead the organization's implementation of the global plan, the Epoch Times had previously documented. If left unchecked, multiple experts said the UN-backed sustainable policies on agriculture and food production would lead to economic devastation, shortages of critical goods, widespread famine, and a dramatic loss of individual freedoms. You will own nothing and be happy. Let's go to Proverbs 12 and 10 real quick. And it reads, "A righteous man regardeth the life of his beasts, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel." You will own nothing and be happy. We want you to eat synthetic meat, bugs. These are the things that they're telling us, man. But they're on paper saying that, we don't have any evil plans, but their actions speak against them, man. Let's keep on reading. According to UNESCO, if you are certain you have encountered a conspiracy theory or conspiracy theorist on the internet, then you must immediately post a relevant link to a fact-checking website in the comments. But these fact checkers, what are they doing? They're getting high, and all they are is a protected opinion. The company Facebook was forced to admit that in the federal court of law. Snopes' lead writer admits she gets high while fact checking. And all these fact checkers is a protected, opinion, you know. Now Facebook, let's just look it up. Facebook, fact checkers. Yep. They were in the federal court of law. I believe they were in a questioning, U.S. court document. So they actually were. Yep. I correct my statement. U.S. court document. Facebook fact checkers are merely opinion checkers. So there it goes, man. Let's keep on going, though. But wait, there's more. There's plenty of more. There's plenty more. Let's keep on reading. According to UNESCO, yep. Let's keep on reading. Never mind the fact that fact checkers. Let's keep on. Let's get this one right here. These two paragraphs. UNESCO also provide advice for anyone who encounters a real live conspiracy theorist in the flesh. So did the United States, Team Biden. And they have a division called the CP3 and other things. We'll go into some of that as well. UNESCO also provide advice for anyone who encounters a real-life conspiracy theorist in the flesh. According to the UN agency, you must not, under any circumstances, be lured into an argument with the conspiracy theorist. Any argument may be taken as proof that you are part of the conspiracy and reinforce that belief. Does it sound like China? The social credit system, the 19 app that they have over there, if you're encountering or engaging with people who are red, you'll turn red. Sounds familiar, right? Let's keep on reading. If it's like any argument may be taken as proof that you are part of the conspiracy and reinforce that belief, and the conspiracy theorists will probably argue hard to defend their beliefs. It's the last paragraph of this article. We'll go on. Instead, you must show empathy and avoid ridiculing them. And if you are a journalist, you quote unquote must report them to social media or contact your local national press council or press ombudsman, and pretty soon local authorities, state and federal. That's where it's going, man. And this is all the beginning stages and leading up to implementing the famine of the word. We're not going to be on the internet, prophesying much longer, man. This is setting the stage for that. Let's go to Psalms, the 2nd chapter. Let's get verses 1 through 4. And it reads, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Their new world order, the Great Reset. Sustainable goals for the 17 UN goals for sustainable development. That's a vain thing. It will come to naught. Let's go to Psalms 33 and 10. And it reads, the devices, the Lord Slakia bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. The opening precept, real quick. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, and their works in the dark. And they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? Who sees you, who knows you? Your own people do. They're calling you out. The truthers are out there, man. The prophets, they're all calling you out. We're calling you out. Let's go to Psalms 33 and 10. The Lord bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught, and maketh the devices, the wicked plans, the wicked agenda, evil plans, including the MOTB, and maketh the devices of the people of none effect. To who? To the elect. Let's go to Psalms 2. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshai and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast their cords away from us. I'm going to read again. Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. You know, Psalms the 83rd chapter. They've taken crafty counsel. Let's get that as well. Psalms 83. Psalms 83, not 93. How much battery I got? Oh man, my phone might die. Yep. I might have to make a part 2 and charge my phone. Lord's will my phone survives this whole lesson. Psalms 83 and 2, and it reads, "For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head." You know, all the heathen nations, starting with Amalek, you know, Esau, Edom. Amalek being the head tribe of Esau, Edom. Psalms 82 and 3, "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones." Crafty counsel is a conspiracy, you know. "They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." And what do they do that through? You know, Planned Parenthood, you know, rap music, nigga culture, you know, that Latino gangbang culture, you know, Uncle Tomahawks, you know, out there selling off, selling out, better yet, to Esau, Edom, you know. You know, placing the woman over the man, you know, taking the man out of the house, you know, welfare reform. Psalms 2 and 3, "Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, shall have them in derision." And right now, you know, the prophets, you know, are laughing at you because your devices, you know, are going to come to none effect when it comes to the elect. You're going to lose in the long run, man, you know, and we're telling you it's going to happen before it happens. That's prophecy, you know. "Who shall declare his way to his face? Who shall repay him for what he had done?" Yahweh Bashim Yahshai. Who's going to declare his way to his face? The prophets. "And then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no accounts of his labors." Well, that's happening right now, and you're hurt, you're pissed. But guess what? You can't do anything about it. Now let's go into this. Slakia, come on. Lord's will my phone survives this lesson. I'm going to have to make a part 2. So this is the National Terrorism Threat Bulletin from June 7th. Let's go to the meat and potatoes. So it says, additional information. Several recent violent attacks by lone offenders against minority communities, schools, houses of worship, and mass transit have demonstrated the dynamic and complex nature of the threat environment facing the United States. And this is in the U.S. Where are they saying? Individuals in online forums. Who are you talking about? Well, you're talking about those that you're calling conspiracy theorists, those that have the breath, conspiracy with breath, the prophets. Individuals in online forums, YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, wherever brothers share content. Individuals, Slakia, my reading is terrible today, but hey, you know, bear with me. Individuals in online forums that routinely promulgate. Let's look at promulgate. I'm curious. Promulgate, make known, put into effect, promote, or make widely known. Well, what are we supposed to do? This is Jeremiah, the 50th chapter, in the 2nd verse. And it reads, "Declare ye among the nations." Let's get one as well. Jeremiah 50 and 1. "The word that the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshai spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet." And that's what we're doing. We're speaking against Babylon the Great, the land of the modern day Chaldeans, you know, where they're spreading all their wickedness, all their sorcery, all the philosophies, you know, their enchantments, you know, CERN, you know, the media, which goes back to medium, which is witchcraft. They're casting spells on the general public, you know. Their pharmakia field, you know, Caduceus, the potion that they've been passing around the past 2 years, you know, love potion number 9. Esau's love potion number 9? Jeremiah 50:1. Also prophesying, against the MOTB, warning you of it. You know what I'm saying? Jeremiah 50:1. The word that the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshai spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet. Let's keep on reading. Declare ye among the nations, publish, make publicly known, publicly speak it. If you have a desktop, that's the last thing you hit as far as the last step you hit before a lesson goes live or a lesson goes up. The word is publish. The last thing, if you have a desktop, you do a lesson, you upload it. The last button you have to hit to make a lesson live, to make it public, is publish. Jeremiah 50:2. Declare ye among the nations and publish and set up a standard. Publish and conceal not. Cry aloud and spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet. Publish and conceal not. Say Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces. That's the report. Her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces, and that's the report. And we're going to speak this message boldly until you take us off the internet. Let's keep on going. Individuals in online forums that routinely promulgate, promote, publish, make known domestic violent extremism and conspiracy theory related content have praised the May 22nd mass shooting at an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. Call Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahshai. Barakat Yahweh Bashim Yahshai. That's judgment, man. Let's get it. Wicked men understand not. Slaki. Come on. Yep. Proverbs 28:5. Evil men understand not judgment, but they that seek the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshai understand all things. Let's keep it going. Yeah, I may have to make a part 2 because my phone is. Let's keep on going till the phone dies, and I'll make a part 2. The Lord's will. Let's keep on going. Yep. Let's get it from this point right here. I'll start from the top. Individuals in online forums that routinely promulgate, promote, make known, make public domestic violent extremism and conspiracy-related content. This came out a few months ago, And who are they waging war on at the UN? People who are spreading these dangerous conspiracy theories, quote unquote. People who have the breath. People who know what's going on. People who are exposing you. You're hurt. Let's go to Isaiah, the 13th chapter. Let's get this. Come on. Yep. Isaiah 13:1. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah, the son of Amos, did see. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. Mountains goes into governments. And that high mountain is talking about Esau, Edom's rulership. The beast, the dragon, all those nations who are conspired, to destroy the nation of Israel, the people of the Heavenly Father, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Seminole Indians, and you so-called Haitians, and the scattered Israelites who may look like the other nations, because the beast system is a worldwide agenda, and they're going to come after everybody who's speaking against them, man. It talks about the hour of temptation. It's going to try out everybody, man. Let's get that real quick. Revelation 3:10. And it reads, because thou hast kept my word, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world. That word world in Revelation 3:10 is oikumene, which means everybody. Revelation 3:10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, and try them that dwell upon the earth. Once again, the beast system, and the MOTB, that's a worldwide agenda and a worldwide plan. Isaiah 13:2, Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. Exalt the voice unto them. Publish, conceal not. Shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles. And this word has reached Slakia, the gates of the nobles. What were they saying at the congressional meeting, last year? We need to do something about these dangerous, radicalized black Hebrew Israelites. They said domestic terrorism is the number one priority of the Department of Homeland Security. The pieces are in place. That's biblical prophecy. That's Esau, Edom, getting ready to come in like a flood, setting the narrative, setting the stage. Let's go into this a little more. Yep. And conspiracy-related content have praised individuals in online forums that routinely promulgate, promote, make publish, make known domestic violent extremism, telling you America's going to be destroyed. Your plans are going to fail. You're going into slavery. That's hate speech to them, but it's beautiful speech to us. Good news for us, bad news for you. And promote theory-related content have praised the May 22nd mass shooting at an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas, and encouraged copycat attacks. They're telling you more things are going to happen. Others have seized on the event to attempt to spread disinformation and incite grievances, including claims that it was a government-staged event, most likely it was, meant to advance gun control measures. And what have you done? You've signed a couple of executive orders, I believe. One in New York, on automatic weapons, and then one a few days ago. And in Canada, they have a mandatory buyback program. Let's keep on going. Let me see. There's another paragraph that goes into this as well. Bear with me. Yep. The continued proliferation of false or misleading narratives regarding current events could reinforce existing personal grievances or ideologies, in combination with other factors, could inspire individuals or mobilize to violence. That's what they're going to blame us for. Inciting violence, sedition, treason, so on and so forth. We're in those times. Let me see, there's another paragraph on here that was relevant. It's all good though. Let's read this. Yeah, this is the one I was looking for. Yep. So how are we responding? The Department of Homeland Security works with partners across every level of government, in a private sector and in local communities to keep Americans safe, including the following examples of our resources to report. DHS and the Federal Bureau of Investigations continue to share timely and actionable information and intelligence with the broadcast audience possible. This includes sharing information and intelligence with our partners across every level of government and in the private sector, with all of our partners. Now, with no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I present the Fathead Serpent, Vocab Malone. Mr. Lockyer, my internet speed.
Private Eye Figure Hawashai. How may I help you? Oh, he's black. Call him a coon. Call him a coon. Works every time. Call him a coon. Yes. Private Eye for Yahushua at your service. Shalom, Holmes.
My name is John Mark Reeser. I'm enrolled at Phoenix Seminary in the Master of Arts of Biblical Leadership program. My name is John Mark Reeser. My name is John Mark Reeser.
videos are against Muslims and Hebrew Israelites because you technically, secretly, you're trying to link us to terrorism. We know who you are. You're an agent. You're a so-called Jew, man. And your time is up, Jack. Right.
That's right.
Bring it up. Yeah.
Like, how did you get into this? I'm just super curious to know, like, what led to all this.
Well, one day I was chilling, you know, and I heard a knock on the door, and it was a man in a black suit, and he said, "I'm a Jesuit, and we want to hire you. We've got some Vatican money." And I said, "Okay, do you have any other credentials?" And he also told me he worked for the FBI, and I was in. Yes. Private.
The Department of Homeland Security. Slakia. Let me get some tea. And the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, continue to share timely and actionable information and intelligence with the broadest audience possible. This includes sharing information and intelligence with our partners at every level of government and in the private sector. One of their partners, man, he's an agent, man. That's why he's so hard set on coming against us. Let's play this part again.
Bring it up. Yeah.
Like, how did you get into this? I'm just super curious to know, like, what led to all this.
Well, one day I was chilling, you know, and I heard a knock on the door, and it was a man in a black suit, and he said, "I'm a Jesuit, and we want to hire you. We've got some Vatican money." And I said, "Okay, do you have any other credentials?" And he also told me he worked for the FBI, and I was in. Yes. Private eye for Yahushua at your service. Shalom, Holmes. They generally don't like the term black in front of it. They view it as racist, although that's anachronistic, or it's retconning, I'll say that instead, because in their own history, they used to call themselves Black Israelites. But more and more, they actually view it as racist. So I just say Hebrew Israelites, usually with quotation marks, because it's a contentious phrase or ID.
We know who you are. You're an agent. You're a so-called Jew, man. And your time is up, Jack. Right.
That's right.
One day I was chilling, you know, and I heard a knock on the door, and it was a man in a black suit, and he said, "I'm a Jesuit, and we want to hire you. We've got some Vatican money." And I said, "Okay, do you have any other credentials?" And he also told me he worked for the FBI, and I was in.
Let's go to Ezra, the 4th chapter. Ezra. Actually, let's go to 1 Maccabees 5:1. And it reads, "Now when the nations round about heard that the altar was built and the sanctuary renewed as before," this is after the Greeks, defiled the temple, had pork on the altar, were burning pork unto Zeus, who later became Jupiter. In the Roman captivity, he was called Zeus. In the Greek captivity, having orgies in the temple, doing all sorts of abominations in the temple after it was renewed, This is 1 Maccabees 5:1, and this is in the Greek captivity during the Greek Empire. Now when the nations round about heard that the altar was built and the sanctuary renewed as before, it displeased them very much. And that's what, Vocab Malone is coming in the spirit of, It also says in the book of Ezra, the 4th chapter, when the adversaries of Benjamin and Judah seen the temple rebuilt, it made them angry. Let's get that. Ezra 4. You may get both. Ezra 4:1, and it reads, "Now when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity builded the temple unto the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, they came to Zerubbabel and the chief of the fathers and said unto them, Let us build with you, for we seek your power as ye do. And we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Hasharadan, king of Assur, which brought us up hither. But Zerubbabel and Jeshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, Ye have nothing to do to build an house unto our power, but we ourselves together will build unto the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yashai, power of Israel, as King Cyrus, the king of Persia, had commanded us. This is in the Medo-Persian captivity, after the Babylonians sacked the temple and the Edomites burnt it. You know, King Cyrus gave the decree to rebuild the temple. Then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and troubled them in building. That's what vocab Malone is coming in the spirit of. And hired counselors against them to frustrate their purpose all the days of Cyrus, king of Persia, even until the reign of Darius, king of Persia. You know, and he's one of those counselors that's hired, you know, to frustrate our purpose. Let's go back to 1 Maccabees 5. Now, when the nations round about heard that the altar was built, altar renewed, you know, the altar renewed, the temple renewed. Now, when the nations round about heard that the altar was built and the sanctuary renewed as before, it displeased them very much. And that's what, you know, the UN, you know, that's what the UN is coming in the spirit of, being displeased, mad at the building of the spiritual temple. You know, this is 1 Maccabees 5 and 2. Sluck it. Come on. 1 Maccabees 5 and 2. And it reads, therefore they thought to destroy the generation of Jacob that was among them, and thereupon they began to slay and destroy the people. And that's what they're doing, you know, with these, you know, these allegations, you know, that they're coming up with, these terms, you know, conspiracy theorists, you know, they're going to make us, you know, the face, you know, of domestic terrorism and terrorism, period, you know. We're in those times, and this has to happen. This is beautiful, you know. This is playing out according to prophecy. It says that Esau, Edom will come in like a flood, right? You know, he's going to start to speak like a dragon, right? Well, this is happening. This is beautiful. 1 Maccabees 5 and 3. Then Judas fought against the children of Esau. So it's calling the Greeks the children of Esau. It's named in the Greeks to be the Edomites. Now that it's like it. 1 Maccabees 5 and 3. Then Judas fought against the children of Esau and Idumea at Arabatine, because they sieged Gael, and he gave them a great overthrow and abated their courage and took their spoils. And Judas Maccabee's army is back. You know? But it's not a physical battle, you know? It's a spiritual battle. Until the time that the Lord, you know, sends Esau, Edom in like a flood and the standards lifted. You know, until, you know, brothers get on those ships and get those new bodies, then, you know, then it's on in that day. You know, then we're gonna wash our feet in the blood of the wicked. You know, if we're of that number, you know, we're gonna allow to get our few blows in, man. You know. Right now it's a spiritual battle, you know, until that time. Now let's keep on going. This is Zechariah 12 and 2. And it reads, behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about when they begin, when it's like, I'm gonna read again from the top. Got a little excited. I'm gonna calm down. Zechariah 12 and 2. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about when they shall be in the siege both against Judah and against Jerusalem. And that's what Esau Edom is looking to do. If you go into this word siege, it means a blockade. Blockade and siege. What did they do in 70 AD? They started to do that. What did they do to Gad? You know, the so-called Native Americans, when they came over here, you know, in the 14 and 1500s, they began to use blockade and siege all the way up to like the 1800s. And there's pictures of that where they have all these buffalo, you know, and different, you know, wildlife, you know, that Gad would eat, and they would have the skulls, you know, just thousands of them, man. And then there would be an Edomite sitting at the top of it, man, you know, because that was a tactic that the Romans used, you know, blockade and siege, cutting off the supplies, you know. They're behind the worldwide famine, right? You know, also they're going to be instituting the famine of the word. You know, it's actually Yahweh Bashim Yashai is doing it, but he's using Esau to facilitate those things, you know. cutting off your ability to physically eat if you're not of the elect, and to spiritually eat, if you're not of the elect. Siege, a military operation in which enemy forces surround a town or building, cutting off the essential supplies with the aim of compelling the surrender of those inside. And that's what he wants to do. He wants to have you surrender to the MOTB and the NWO. That's why he's speaking like a dragon right now. He's setting the stage. Zechariah 12:2. How much more battery I got? I'm at 8%. I'm good. I'm cool for a good 4 or 5 minutes. Zechariah 12:2. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege, both against Judah and Jerusalem. Looking to, round about us, man. Compass us with armies. Zechariah 12:3. And in that day, I will make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, hewn down. Therefore have I hewed them by the prophets. You're cut right now. You're hurt. I'm going to start again from the top. Zechariah 12:3. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. You shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. Well, we're seeing that being played out in real life, man. Now, if you go into this word stone, it's awath. Yeah, awath. It's like it's not awath. It's aban. Aban. Yep. Abana. Yep. Aban. And that word goes into I'm good for the next 5 minutes. And it goes into precious stones, stones of fire, stone-like objects, hailstones, hewn stones. Stone is material. Precious stones, stones of fire, right? Well, our Lord is a consuming fire. Let's get that. Deuteronomy 4:24, and it reads, For the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, thy power is a consuming fire, even a jealous power. Let's go into 1 Peter 1:5. Second Peter. Yep. Oh man. Am I tripping? Two and 5. 1 Peter 2:5. No man, not second. Come on, phone. My bad. My phone is tripping. Prince of the power of the air, man. Yep. 1 Peter 2:5. Salakia. Ye also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house, a holy priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to the Most High by Yahushua HaMashiach. We're those burdensome stones, If you go into this word aban, abanah, those are the characters you have in the Hebrew, and it's aban. That's how you say the word. It goes into headstone, cornerstone, which that Lord Yahushua is. Hailstones, right? Hailstones, stone-like objects. Hailstones, stony heart, ice. Let's get this one first. Jeremiah 5:14, because it also mentions what? Stones of fire, precious stones, 1 Peter 2:5. Ye also as lively stones are built up a spiritual house. Let me see. Lucky. I was looking for something that may not be here, though. Let's just get this, Lucky. Ye also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to the Most High by Yahushua HaMashiach. Precious stones, right? Also, stones of fire. Let's go to Jeremiah 5:14, and it reads, Wherefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahshua, power of hosts, because you speak this word, I will make my words in thy mouth fire, and this people wood, and it shall devour them. And this word is devouring Esau Edom right now. Also, hailstones, right? Hailstones. This is Isaiah 28:16. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahshua, power, behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation, a stone, a tried stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation, talking about Yahushua. He that believeth shall not make haste. Let's get Zechariah 12:3 again. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people, all those that come against the servants of prophecy, Yahweh Bashem Yahshua, and the believers. All that burden themselves shall be cut in pieces through what? Through the word. You know, Hebrews 4:12. For the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahshua is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword. You know, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. This is biblical prophecy, man. You know, Esau Edom is setting the stage, and he calls it. That means to get ready, to make ready, to be the author of, to set up, to fashion. You know, to fashion what? The implementation pretty soon of the MOTB, but several things has to happen, including he has to start speaking as a dragon and start passing draconian laws. You know, setting the stage. This is biblical prophecy. This is a beautiful time. Isaiah 28:17, and it reads, because one of the definitions of the burdensome stone, that word is aban in the Hebrew, is stones, hailstones, right? This is Isaiah 28:17. Judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet, and the hail, those burdensome stones, the prophets, shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and the water shall overflow the hiding place. You know, the rivers of living water is overflowing Esau Edom's hiding place. The wicked's being revealed, and he's hurt. Jeremiah 49:10, and it reads, For I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not. You know, he's despised among the heathen. You know, everybody's starting to point him out. You know, something ain't right about this nigga right here, man. You know, let's get Obadiah 1:6, and it reads, How are the things of Esau searched out? How were his hidden things sought up? Through the prophets, the men that have the understanding. You know, Isaiah 28:17, judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet, and the hail, those hailstones, those burdensome stones, shall sweep away the refuge of lies as the waters overshadow the hiding place. Esau Edom, you have nowhere to hide. We know who you are. The secret's out, you know, the act is up. You've been discovered. You've been found. You know, you've been called out. So I'm going to make a part 2. I'm going to charge my phone for a good, 15, 20 minutes. Grab me a little small bite to eat. I may do that while I'm charging the phone, and then come back and finish part 2. Yeah, part 2, I got a little bit of information to go into, and I'm going to wrap on up. Shouldn't be too long, but, it may be long. So I'm going to do a part 2, Lord's will, in the next 30 minutes or so. So until then, Shalom, Yahweh Bashem Yahshua, Barakatah, Watham, to everybody tuning in. Lord's will, you found part 1 edifying. And until the next, part, Shalom, DTA, Wa Ba Ba Ba. Soon. Back at you with part 2 in the next, 30, 45 minutes. Shalom.